All right. Shalom Akim. First and foremost, as always, I'd love to give all the praises, all the honor, and all the glory unto the unstoppable and undeniable force, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. The Wadi Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai for allowing me to rise and to, obviously wake up once again to glorify His name, to giving all praises unto His name, and for allowing me once again to come back with another lesson. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, great millstone, GMS for telling me this truth. Honors to the brethren in the Akim that's been pushing out this truth with all sincerity and in faith. And the Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai for allowing me to come back with another lesson once again. And before I continue on with this lesson, I'm just going to make sure that I am indeed live. So bear with me 1 second. Give me one moment. Give me a moment. I'm just playing. Let me see. All right, cool. We are live. All right. So as you brothers can see, the title of this lesson is going to be Trust. And through the Spirit, just to give a little quick testimony, the reason I said this is because I've been recently, it was a couple days ago, I had when I go to work, I meet my coworkers at a gas station in which I used to work at, and I've made sure, before, I started the job that I'm working now, I made sure with the boss of mine that I made sure that it was okay with her to, is it alright if I, for the morning I'll park here, and when I get off, I won't be in the way and stuff like that, just to park in the in the lot. And she said, yes, of course, that's fine. You work, you worked here before. It's no big deal to me. And eventually, long story short, it got to the point where I parked my car, went to work, got back, and it was gone. Car gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking like, what the hell? And I'm like, oh hell no. So I go in there, I go into the store and I asked them, I was like, hey guys, these people who I used to be coworkers with, so they know me, they know what my car looked like. And I was like, my car isn't outside. Did you see anything? Did they tow it or whatever and whatnot? And then, eventually, or we got to the point where they were like, no, nobody told us nothing. Like, we didn't see anything. We've been here all day, and I was just like, okay, so now I got my mind running. I'm tripping. I'm thinking the worst of the worst. And then at this point, I don't know where my car is, and, and it is crazy, because you never think, things happen, but, it got to the point when I got home, I got a letter from because I got a Kia hybrid, and, I got a letter in the mail the next day saying, I actually have it right here. It's on the nightstand, but it says something. It was an envelope from Kia, Motors or whatever and whatnot. And they were like, I got a letter, and I opened it, and I'm thinking it's like a bill or something. And I'm like, shit, but it wasn't a bill because I've already paid, I've been on top of my payments and whatnot. And it was a letter in there, and I pulled it out, and it was like a thick little piece of paper saying, has your car been stolen, vandalized, or whatever? And I'm like, there's no way. Somebody took my car, took it got towed. Now it's at some, lot, which I gotta go searching for. I got a number, so you brothers, you run into certain things, and, you're like, damn, and through the Spirit, I'm tripping. I'm like, because I'm thinking, I was like, man, did I leave my garment in there? Did I leave my sword in there in my bag? Because sometimes I'll forget about it. And then I'll remember the next day, and I'll be, oh shit, let me go grab that shit. But it turns out my garment's in the house. My sword's on the counter or on the nightstand. So that was good. The only thing that's in there is the sign and my tripod. And I'm like, damn, man, you know. And Lord willing, I'll be able to find my car so I could get that stuff out of there. And, you know, and then the next surprise will be, what's the damages, you know. But through the spirit, Salakia for me rambling, but, in my mind, I'm like, how am I going to do the work? I want to go out. I can't, I don't got a vehicle to go, and I'm thinking, I'm like, my mind is just like, sometimes you catch yourself and you're like, why am I thinking these things? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Talking to myself or thinking out loud. And I'm like, this is all test, here it is. I'm over here worrying when I'm supposed to just trust in the Lord, and you catch yourself, you be like, oh shit, how am I gonna pay these bills? How am I gonna get that? How am I gonna get that? So it's certain things, where your mind worries you sometimes, but then you snap out of it, of course, and then you realize, oh, this is all just, it's all because the scriptures talk about how, in the book of Romans, about how all things work to the good to those that love him. Right here, this is the book of Romans 8:28, and it says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Heavenly Father, to them who are the called according to his purpose. You see that? And that's what came to my mind. I'm like, well, everything works to the good to those, that love the Most High. And I could say for myself that, I love him. And how do I show my love? By fearing, by, earlier when the pandemic hit, I was watching and I was, actually getting really into it. And it was due to the brother Yawakal. He got me, he encouraged me to go out to them highways because he always see me on the combo board, and I've been doing the work ever since, so, and from there, things have been, in this truth, you have to learn one thing is you're going to have your ups and your downs, but everything, all those things work to the good, so even if I don't get my car back, even if it's all fucked up or whatever, it is what it is, I'll just get another one, and that's all through the spirit and power and my belief and my faith and trust in Yahweh Bashem and Yahweh Shai. So there's certain things, brothers, that will befall us in these last days, and we just have to know this, remember these scriptures, such as Romans the 8th chapter. Another precept that comes to my mind is it's Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and 4, where it says whatsoever is about upon thee. Well, let's start to the top, man. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. And that's what we got to do. When we come to serve the Lord, it ain't going to be a smooth cruise. It ain't going to be, sunshine and rainbows. This walk in which we walk, in this fight in which we fight, it's a very mean, ugly place sometimes. And sometimes it will beat you down sometimes if you let it, But that's why we have these scriptures for our learning. These things are written for our learning, written for instruction, for what to do, what not to do, for reproof, for rebuke, everything, But it says, verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And that's what we got to do, brothers. We just got to constantly endure no matter what, Even if I have to call cab to drop me off to the altar and call it back to take me back to the tent, so be it, man. I still got to do what I must do, Yeah, I remember the elder apostle Ram, or not Apostle Ramlab, elder apostle Gabar. He used to say when he used to go to the, when the school was open and where they taught the truth, where the truth came out of One West. He said he used to walk city blocks to get to the school, man. Take trolley, take the subway, all that, man. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, man, that's and that shows diligence. That shows, that those are true men of the Most High in this faith of ours. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, man, I'll do whatever it takes, man. Because I have to. I have, it's in me to do so. And this is what we have to always keep in mind. Always keep in mind that you got this saying, what's that? Who was it? Mike Tyson? Here go me, here goes me going back into fighting. But it says, was it Mike Tyson? He said everybody got, I think he said, Mike Tyson said something. I don't know if it's a quote of his. He probably just said it, but it said something around the words of like, everybody got to plan until they get hit, and there's certain situations like, I remember in the world, in school and high school and shit, people be like, hey, what would you do if this happened? They put me in a scenario and be like, what would you do then, here? And what would be your game plan? And everybody could say what they would do, but it's totally different when you're put into that situation, You don't know what you're going to do until you get hit. Sometimes, it takes one to get hit to realize, okay, what you going to do now? Like Jake, like Jake in the hood. I remember Jake is crazy, but I remember when Jake where I grew up in San Diego, California, I remember there was this one Jake, he was all like, he said something, man, and it was always daily, something went down. Israel's crazy. Our people are wild sometimes, but this Jake, he was all like, come on, bro, you want to throw these hands, whatnot. And then the dude he was scrapping with, he threw hands for a minute, and then he was like, man, fuck this nigga, I'm gonna take this nigga down, I'm gonna slam his ass down, whoop his ass. And when that happened, he didn't know what to do. The dude was like, I'm good with my hands, he wasn't good when he was on the ground, so he didn't have an answer for that. He talked all that talk, but ended up getting mollywopped. But it sometimes, you get hit and you don't know what you're going to do. And then that's when that's a test. The Lord's like, okay, let's see. I got him in this situation. What's he going to do? Is he going to make haste in the time of trouble? Or is he going to constantly endure? And we have to constantly endure, brothers, no matter what. And it says, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. And for a minute, yesterday I was in a low state, man. I'm like, fuck, I don't know where the fuck my car is. I don't know where nothing, I'm like, my mind's running. I'm like, what the fuck, I don't know any brothers that has had that happen to you, and I'm sure it has, and it's, for myself, speaking for myself, it ain't a good feeling. It really isn't. And it's just like, damn. And in my mind, I'm like tripping. I'm all like worrying and shit, which I don't and I'll be honest, I don't really worry about much, but it's just that, it was just an unexpected of events that occurred. And I'm like, my mind's just running. I got that song, my mom's playing tricks on me. That's what it was doing. And then, I'm listening to a brother, and I'm like, man, I just got to trust in the Lord, man. That's really all. I can't really worry about it. I just got to continue to just do my best and trust in him, and through faith, I know I'll be okay. That's my expectation, my hope. But it says, verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. It says, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order that way aright and trust in him. And I was telling myself, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I gotta put that in my mind. I gotta really, not saying that it's not there, but it's just like really, truly, like, how like brothers say we in crunch time, we gotta get it in gear. Brothers are in gear, but we gotta get more in gear. And I was like telling myself, I was like, I gotta believe more. I gotta believe more, trust in him more, pray to him more. Even what I'm doing, I gotta even do it even more. Because we can never go far enough. But verse 6, it says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. And that's what order thy way aright and trust in him. And that's what we got to do, brothers. Believe, and prayer, prayer as well. I was debating whether, what I should go into, whether I should go into the trust or in the prayer. I believe I'll save the prayer for tomorrow in the morning or something, but, I was just like, I gotta really, this is the test, ain't nothing like this happened to me before, but it's just all a test, it's all a test, And I'm doing. I think I'm doing okay. I'm not too stressed out about it as I am. I mean, at this point, I laughed and I just took it I took it on the chin, so to speak. I was just like, what can you do? You know, it's just the world we live. And it's the fight we have to fight as us being servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So brothers, anything happen, just no matter how small, no matter how great, you gotta trust in him. You gotta trust in the Lord. You gotta trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, brothers. Because it is our duty. But I'll grab a couple more precepts through the Spirit and I'll wrap up. Just a quick little, I'll probably change the title of this lesson through the Spirit. But it says here, this is Psalms 2 and 12, and it says, kiss the Son lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled but a little, blessed are all they that trusted him. And that's what we got to do. We got to trust in him. We must trust in him. Trust in him at all times. And no matter what. Psalm 7 and 1. It says, O Lord, my power, in thee do I put my trust. Save me from all them that persecute me, and deliver me. And also that too, because we're coming to the time where, this is what's going to come down to is, what are you going to do? You're going to trust in the Lord? You're going to trust in yourself? You're going to trust in man? You're going to trust in riches? What you going to do? And we have to trust in the Lord, man. Anything else, it is not going to work out for us. This is Psalms 9 and 10. And it says, and they that know thy name, which we know the names, which the name is what? It ain't fucking Jesus Christ, I'll tell you that. It ain't Jesus Christ. It's Yahweh Shai. It's Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Akakwadash. Alright? And it says, and they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. And we have to keep this in mind. Even if it feels like you're forsaken, we're really truly not. It's just the Lord putting us through those trials, those tribulations, those tests, the fiery trial, which is a trial. Thinking not strange concerning that when it tries you. And even that being said, it's still like, you get tried and you're like, what the fuck, because we're we have emotions, we're in this flesh, but then, the Spirit kicks in and it's just like, hold up, my friend, hold up, you gotta start to, think spiritual, because when you start worrying, that's when that's carnally minded, thinking, what the fuck's gonna happen? How's it? What? Your mind's all over the place. But when you're spiritually minded, and when you tell yourself, and when you read these scriptures, and you're just like, all I gotta do is trust in him, and and believe in him, he's gonna help me, and stuff like that. You become more, your mind is sedated, so to speak. You're not so worried. Why? Because you're putting your trust in him. And it says, and this is a Psalm of David, and it says, in the Lord put I my trust. How say ye, my soul, flee as a bird to your mountain? You see? So the question was David was asking, if I put my trust in the Lord, how you gonna say my soul's gonna, what you gonna, he's asking a question, because because David, he was one that was what? After the heart of the Heavenly Father. Psalm 16 and 1, preserve me, O Yahweh, for in thee do I put my trust. And, these are just precepts that are popping right. There's another one actually in the next verse or chapter. This is Psalm 17 and 7. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand, them which put their trust in thee from those that rise up against them. See? And that's what we want to be shown unto us, the marvelous loving kindness from our power, but it comes from trusting, it comes from believing and having our faith in him, Psalms 18 and 1, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength, The Lord is my rock and my fortress, my deliverer, my power, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. And knowing that these things are, knowing that our power is all these things for us, we have no, if you have your head screwed on correctly, and everything, all the furniture is arranged correctly up in the mind, it's gonna be a no-brainer for you to, bam. But what else would I need or want? This is all that I need, and everything that we need is what our power is to us. He's our everything. He's our absolute everything, man. Matter of fact, this is actually a fire psalm. This is actually written not only just in here, but in the book of 2 Samuel, the 22nd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Because David, he explains this, this is the song, to the chief musician, because, this is in the book of Samuel, too, because I remember reading it. But as Psalms 18 and 30, as for the Heavenly Father, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. And what is a buckler? Is a shield. So if he's our shield, man, that's the most powerful and unstoppable and undeniable shield that there is, man. Psalms chapter 20 and 7. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our power, Yahweh Bashem and Hawashai. They are brought down and fallen. They are risen and stand upright. Save, Lord. Let the King hear us when we call. And that's the thing, some of us, some trust in chariots, some trust in this, some trust in that. But guess what? We gonna remember our power. We're gonna remember the name, and to trust in the name, and to have faith and belief in the name and in our power, Yahweh Bashem Hawashai. Psalms 25 and 1. It says, a psalm of David, unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my power, I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. Yea, it says, yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without a cause. Show me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy path. And that's what we want. To guide us. But what do you have to do in order for him to direct your path? You have to trust in him. Proverbs 3 and verse 1. It says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write upon them the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of the Heavenly Father and man. Verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. And that's right. And that's what we want. And ultimately the Lord, he's going to direct your path anyways, because man's goings of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So through the Spirit, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Just something that was on my lob. Something I thought I'd share with you brothers. Because there's times stuff happens. Sometimes brothers' cars break down. Sometimes things happen. But for my case, my car was jacked for me. So, but it is what it is. I can't stress. I can't worry about it. All I got to do is trust in the Lord, and it's going to work out, so, but just something to, hopefully you brothers were edified and exhorted and comforted by it, just to trust in the Lord, brothers. Trust in the Lord at all times, have faith in him, at all times, because without it, you can't please him, and you just got to continue to just, be a warrior, I believe there's that saying, it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener and a warrior. Or it's like, how's it go? It's better for a warrior to be in a garden than a gardener to be in a war, So you got to be a warrior at all times, But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I pray and hope that this lesson was edifying, exhorting, and comforting. As always, I want to give all the praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Akakwadash. Shalom to the brother. I just saw your comment, or I just pulled up on my tablet. The brother Shadow of Thy Wings, 12 tribes. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brakatah Bashem Akakwadash. Shalom to you, brother. And that's the spirit. We're gonna read this. Hebrews 11:6. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the heavenly Father must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. See, and that's what we got to do, brothers. And shalom to you, brother. Keep pushing, keep striving. We're almost up out of here, brothers. And shalom to all the brethren, to the sheep that may watch. And to Wadi Al-Bashim Al-Shah for allowing me to come back with this lesson. And it's on to the next one, brothers. Shalom.